Buenos días. Mi nombre es Timothy Alberino y soy el director de la empresa Producciones Gen 6. Trabajo con el autor muy conocido en los Estados Unidos llamado Steve Quayle, quien ha escrito varios libros sobre el tema que vamos a tratar hoy. El señor Quayle es considerado el experto en el tema de gigantes. Producciones Gen 6 se dedica a 3 objetivos: exploración, investigación y educación. El tema de nuestra presentación en esta mañana es el mundo antediluviano. Les quiero plantear en esta mañana una hipótesis sobre el mundo antediluviano. Pero antes de comenzar, tenemos que definir la palabra antediluviano. La palabra antediluviano significa el tiempo o la época antes del gran diluvio de Noé. En casi todas las grandes culturas del mundo antiguo, nos encontramos con una serie de mitos comunes. Entre ellos hay 3 que siempre surgen. El mito de los antiguos dioses que descendieron del cielo para tomar mujeres de las hijas de los seres humanos. El mito de los hijos de los dioses, los gigantes, que eran el producto de la relación sexual entre los dioses y las mujeres humanas. Y el mito de un gran cataclismo, en muchos casos un diluvio, que destruyó el imperio de los dioses y sus descendientes gigantes.
The reason I started Gen 6 Productions to produce the documentary series True Legends was to show you a side of history that you may not have been aware of.
Lincoln, Jefferson, Washington, some of the most famous founding fathers of the United States of America all spoke of giants, not as if they were myth or legend, but they spoke in the context of them being fact.
I've been studying and researching ancient giants, their architecture, and their technology for over 40 years. As an aerial photographer as well as a researcher, I've been able to gain a perspective that very few people can acquire. Native American legends record giants between 14 and 18 feet tall being able to run alongside buffalo herds and scoop them up under their arms.
What's fascinating about Montana is the complete association with giants of antiquity, the bison, and the Native Americans. It was not only did the Native Americans follow the bison, but 1,000 years ago, it was the Native Americans who had to flee and fight the giants. Naturally, that goes against everything that most people are taught in history, especially United States history.
I see history through a biblical lens, believing that the book of Genesis lays out the entire understanding of who the ancient architects, master builders, and those who taught humanity advanced technology really were. The book of Genesis, chapter 6, verse 4, starting at verse 4, teaches that a group of fallen angels came to earth and mated with earth women, producing a super being, if you will, a hybrid. That hybrid is what ancient mythology and legends refers to the giants, or as the Old Testament calls them, the mighty men of renown. The architecture that you see that's on a scale that does not even equate to a human scale was built by these individuals. Every single culture that I have looked at in every corner of the world has their legends of the gods coming down, mating with earth women, and producing their heroes.
Así que lo que la Biblia nos dice es que los ángeles del cielo codiciaban las mujeres humanas y bajaron a la tierra para tomarlas como esposas y copular con ellas. Las mujeres se impregnaron con la semilla de los vigilantes, los ángeles caídos, y dieron a luz a seres híbridos, mitad ángel, mitad humano, los hijos de los dioses. Estos niños híbridos crecieron a gran estatura y eran extremadamente inteligentes y malvados.
While on expedition to Peru, Tim Alberino was invited to speak at the University of San Martin in the Amazon basin. None of the students had ever heard a biblical explanation for the megalithic structures found in their own country, but ironically, they all knew about ancient astronaut theory and the ancient aliens.
Es mi postulación de que el mundo antes del gran cataclismo, el diluvio de Noé, era muy diferente del mundo que conocemos hoy en día y sin embargo, en algunos aspectos, muy similar. Cuando pensamos en el mundo antiguo, tendemos a imaginar un mundo de ignorancia, con un bajo nivel de tecnología, progreso y conocimiento. Pero nada podría estar más lejos de la verdad. La verdad es que el mundo antes del diluvio de Noé fue un tiempo de gran conocimiento y tecnología más allá de lo que tenemos aún en nuestro propio tiempo. Creo que la evidencia para esta postulación se puede encontrar en todo el mundo, incluyendo en el Perú.
Peru is a fascinating country. Not only is Peru home to a diverse array of native cultures, but also a wide variety of amazing landscapes. You have the hot and humid jungles of the Amazon, the snow-capped peaks of the Andes Mountains, the beautiful Pacific coast, and one of the most barren deserts in the world, all within the borders of the same country. It also happens to be one of the best places on Earth where evidence for giants and fallen angel technology and architecture can still be found. Our expedition began in the district of Puno on the shores of Lake Titicaca, in an area known as the Andean Plateau or the Altiplano, which is one of the most extensive areas of high plateaus on Earth, second only to Tibet. Most of the Altiplano lies within Peru and Bolivia, but its southernmost regions extend into Chile and Argentina.
Behind me is the city of Puno and Lake Titicaca. We're about 12,500 feet above sea level here. This is a very interesting place. Lake Titicaca is the largest lake in South America and the highest navigable lake in the whole world. The reason why we've come to Puno is because Puno is a gateway to a couple of the sites that we want to go to, one of which is Pumapunku on the border of Bolivia and Peru. Another is the alleged Stargate of Aramumuru. We will be going to various other locations, investigating not only some of the megalithic ruins and some of the legends surrounding the builders of those ruins, but also investigating some of the reported paranormal phenomenon that happens here frequently.
There are a lot of legends connecting Lake Titicaca and the Altiplano with giants, very similar to the legends of the six-fingered, red-haired giants that once inhabited the Catalina Islands off the coast of California and the Lovelock Cave of Nevada. The whole region around Lake Titicaca has been reputed to be a hotbed of UFO activity.
En Juliaca, estas imágenes que vamos a ver a continuación fueron grabadas ayer exactamente a las 5:30 de la tarde. Este objeto no identificado se precipitó a tierra dejando una estela de humo.
We've come out here to the famous floating islands made of reeds here on Titicaca. And our objective here is to find some of the older people that can tell us some of the legends, because we know that there are legends of giants and of course all kinds of UFOs and strange phenomenon that takes place around the Titicaca area, especially right over the lake. So again, our hope is to get somebody to tell us some of those stories here on this floating reed island.
For many generations, certain factions within the Aymara people have been building and living on artificial islands made of reeds that grow in the shallows of the lake. Due to their isolation, these reed raft dwellers of Lake Titicaca have been able to maintain a lot of their own customs and traditions, including some of their old legends, which is what we were interested in. The first elderly native with whom we spoke on the floating islands recounted for us a few different stories of strange phenomena that he has witnessed on the lake in his lifetime. He told us about the typical saucer-shaped aerial craft with bright multicolored lights that appear over the lake, primarily at night, and move through the atmosphere in a very erratic manner. Sometimes these craft are seen darting through the night sky and then suddenly plunging down into the water. Presumably to some kind of hidden base under the lake. Based on the testimony of some of the other natives on the floating islands, sightings of these craft seem to be a fairly common occurrence. We were also told about bizarre creatures that fly over the lake and sometimes land on the reed rafts. These entities were described to us as demonic winged beings that emit a blood-curdling scream. One very elderly woman recounted an ancient Aymara legend about little evil beings that float over the lake in canoes and steal children from the rafts. In truth, I was really hoping to hear some of the legends concerning the giants that once inhabited the area. But the few Aymara elders with whom we were able to speak admittedly had forgotten most of the old tales. Unfortunately, much of the culture of the Aymara people living on Lake Titicaca has been lost or forgotten and replaced with a very superficial, and to a degree artificial, culture that they maintain mainly for the sake of paying tourists. One thing is for sure, there is definitely a lot of UFO activity around Lake Titicaca. Almost everyone we talked to had a story to tell, including the driver of our boat and our security guard, who told us about a vivid encounter that he and his family had experienced.
Veía, ¿cómo se llama?, en el cielo que estaba despejado sin nada de nubes.
He was looking up into an open blue sky.
Vi una esfera en el cielo brillante.
He saw a shining sphere in the sky.
Era plateado y redondo.
And it was like a silver shining circular object flying in the sky, hovering in the sky.
Y brillaba, o sea, parecía con el reflejo del sol.
And it was shining almost as if it was reflecting the sunlight.
Tenía brillo y posteriormente se estaba, ¿no?, en un solo sitio.
And it was staying in one spot.
Posteriormente, algo de 20 minutos, quedamos pasmados nosotros con mi esposa y mis hijos, ¿no? Y luego de eso, nosotros tratamos de hacer señales con el...
So it was hovering in one spot for a while, and then he got his wife and his kids to come look at it, and they went inside and got a mirror to try and to communicate with it using the reflection of the sun.
El reflejo con el espejo, y empezó a moverse.
And when they were doing that, it started to slowly move around.
No una velocidad rápida, no, sino lenta, así
so como. It wasn't going fast; it was just moving slowly.
Si estuviese llevándoselo el viento.
As if the wind was blowing it, just moving slowly.
Llevándoselo para el lado del cerro. O sea,
and it was moving towards the mountain.
Y eso fue por el mes de agosto aproximadamente, cuando había bastante viento.
And that was in the month of August, cuando había bastante viento.
Sí,
when there's a lot of wind. Y ¿estás seguro que era como un objeto de metal o qué cosa?
Sí, eso era un objeto exclusivamente de metal, porque no le logramos divisar, a pesar de la distancia que había no se lograba ver bien cómo era, pero nosotros hemos visto que era un objeto redondo.
Yeah, and I asked him if he was sure that it was a metallic object, and he said, yeah, they could tell that it was a metallic object. It wasn't really close, but it was easy to see that it was some kind of metallic object.
Sí, eso es lo único que hemos tratado de ver. Nosotros no imaginábamos qué era, ¿no?
And he said that they didn't know what it was.
Y ¿cómo se llama? Eso,
pero no fue natural, fue algo artificial.
Algo sobre, ¿no? Que no era natural.
And he's just confirming that it wasn't natural, it was something artificial.
Y eso es lo único que se ha podido.
And that's what he saw.
Whether or not an underground base or city actually exists beneath the waters of Lake Titicaca, we were definitely able to confirm that this is a UFO hotspot. Before setting out to explore the megalithic ruins of Tiwanaku and the alleged Stargate of Aramumuru, we wanted to talk with a university-level archaeologist to find out if any evidence for giants had ever been officially discovered in the area, and if any strange phenomena had ever been officially recorded at Aramumuru. We contacted the National University in Puno, and they referred us to a well-known and respected archaeologist working in the altiplano. Hemos oído historias de fenómeno extraño relacionado con la puerta de Aramumuru. ¿Ha experimentado usted fenómeno extraño allí?
Bueno, como fenómeno extraño, no sé exactamente si corresponda a esa categoría, pero alguna vez explorando en la zona tuve un inconveniente con la brújula, con el compás, en la que por un momento la aguja estaba totalmente desubicada y se movía muy rápidamente, como que hubiera una fuerza magnética importante en ese momento. Pero eso fue también durante un momento y después terminó. Pero si eso es un fenómeno extraño relacionado a Aramumuru o Altarani, como es el nombre, pues sí tuve algo que ver con eso.
Como arqueólogo, ¿alguna vez ha visto usted artefactos o huesos que podrían haber pertenecido a gigantes?
No, definitivamente nunca he encontrado personalmente ningún tipo de evidencia que pueda sugerir la existencia de gigantes o haber pertenecido a gigantes. No aquí en el altiplano, no he encontrado nada de eso acá.
¿Existen registros históricos de gigantes en el Perú?
Sí, existen registros documentales en documentos del siglo XVI, XVII. Varios cronistas han hecho la mención a la existencia de gigantes aquí en los Andes en general, ¿no? Y algunos de manera particular se refieren a la zona del altiplano.
Profesor, gracias por su tiempo.
Encantado, mucho gusto.
There are many historical accounts of giants in Peru, most of which were recorded by the Spanish priests and chroniclers in the early 17th century, following the conquest of the Incan Empire.